Last weekend, Doublelift was temporarily banned from co-streaming the LCS. He said something that Riot really didn't like, and they issued him his second strike as an official co-streamer. Let's talk about what he said and all the drama that's come since. Well, would you look at the time, it's Doublelift time again. If you enjoy these kinds of videos, then make sure you leave a like and also subscribe to the channel. We are so close to 2 million subs now, I can almost smell it. It smells like warm chocolate. Now, if you know Doublelift, you'll know he's made a couple of headlines since parting ways with TSM's league team last year and retiring as a pro. The streamer called out his former boss and TSM owner Reggie as a bully who made players cry, sparking a Riot investigation which condemned Reggie's behavior towards TSM staff and left him with a 2-year probation. But since the release of that report last week, Doublelift himself has got into some hot water with Riot. He recently took part in the Ultimate Crown event set up by Mr. Beast, where Mr. Beast and Ninja faced off in a League of Legends tournament featuring some massive streamers and former pro players.
Doublelift, 1v2, the last man standing on his team.
Beautiful hook on the side of Ludwig, and it actually did turn out a little bit okay for the team. Doublelift placing himself in the middle between Team Beast and Drag, and it looks like Mizkif's going in!
They actually want to fight this. Doublelift, he steps up, and Mizkif punishes.
Now, although Doublelift seemed to have lots of fun at the event, he later talked about one person in particular who wasn't there, Bjergsen. They have a lot in common. They're both the only serious contenders for the all-time GOAT of the LCS. They're good friends, former TSM teammates, and they both retired at one point. The only difference is that Bjergsen later returned to pro play. And now that he's back as a pro player, Bjergsen has to play by Riot's rules. Before the Ultimate Crown event, there was speculation about whether Bjergsen would be playing in Mr. Beast's tournament. And afterwards, there were some rumors floating around about his absence, which Doublelift addressed on stream.
Any comment on the rumor Riot blocked Bjergsen from participating? Oh my god, dude, don't even get me started on that. Like, that is like one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. And like, that rumor is basically like, it's basically confirmed, right? Like, I heard from so many people that Riot blocked Bjergsen from participating. It was supposed to be Bjergsen. No, but like, I have to talk about it. It's so stupid. Riot and LCS blocked Bjergsen from playing in this event. He was supposed to be on Mr. Beast's team.
This was confirmed by Mr. Beast in the comments of a more Doublelift YouTube video on the subject, saying that he was surprised Riot denied Bjergsen from playing. Now, all of this relates to a Riot rule which restricts LCS players from playing in third-party tournaments. It's at Riot's discretion. But talking about all of this wasn't what got Doublelift in trouble. It was what he said next.
LCS is dying. Like, the viewership is absolutely dying. There's no denying it. Everyone knows it. Everyone can feel it. Why would you not let one of, if not the face of the league, play in an event with two of the biggest creators in the world? Literally the biggest creator in the world. LCS could not pay Mr. Beast enough to like insert one of their players into an event that is watched by so many kids.
Doublelift went on to point out that Mr. Beast, arguably the single biggest content creator on the planet, is a massive League of Legends fan. He has tweeted over and over and over again about how much he loves the game. He's played for over a decade and has said on multiple occasions that he intends to own a League of Legends team one day. Now, he could mean an amateur team, but even if he was to pay the $13 million price tag for an LCS franchise spot, he could probably afford it. Mr. Beast's main YouTube channel is one of the most viewed in the world. His real-life Squid Games video from last year is a great example of his reach after it pulled in 272 million views to date. And back in March this year, he shared on LinkedIn that he racked up 283 million views in a single month. Doublelift is arguing that Riot should consider themselves lucky, that not only is this guy a massive League fan, he's also running these huge tournaments with millions of eyeballs watching. Perhaps some of them have never even seen the game before. To put it bluntly, he thinks Riot should be bending over backwards to help Mr. Beast with his third-party events, even if it means allowing an LCS player like Bjergsen to compete. Now, Riot, or some of you guys might disagree with that, But that wasn't what pissed Riot off here. It was the fact that Doublelift said the LCS is dying. Now you might say, so what? Why should a big independent streamer like Doublelift give two shits what Riot thinks of him? Well, if you've been following closely, you'll know that Riot gave Doublelift co-streaming rights for the LCS, meaning he can broadcast the games himself with his own commentary. However, each co-streamer has to agree to a set of Riot's rules, including not disparaging the LCS, and if they break any of those rules, Riot can take those rights away.
Your boy got headshot by LCS. A couple days ago, I was talking about how LCS was so stupid for not letting Bjergsen play the Mr. Beast tournament, and I think I said the words LCS is dying. So your boy got extremely turbo headshot by LCS. I'm on my second strike. My first strike was just something completely random. I was watching a YouTube video and like it said some profanity. I instantly clicked out, but I got my first strike. So I got my second strike, which means I can't co-stream this upcoming weekend of LCS. Okay, and as a token of my apology, I wanted to correct my statement. LCS is not dying, and they're not stupid. Actually, the league is thriving. This is an unedited photo that I took right here, okay? As a token of my apology, it is absolutely going nuts. 236k views. This,
of course, sparked a lot of debate within the community about whether there is any merit to the claim that the LCS is dying.
Yeah, I saw that on Twitter. Apparently, Riot and Doublelift said league's dying, so Riot isn't letting them co-stream. Oh no, you can't co-stream. Boring ass LCS. Nice, bro. LCS is 2 kills at 30 minutes. Whoa, that's really entertaining to watch and commentate on. I feel bad for the casters currently. That shit's so f***ing dead. And like, you don't know any of the players anyway, and NALCS sucks as well. But not only does NALCS suck, well, the game's boring as f*** right now as well. So these casters are like trying to like think of some shit to talk. So at like 90% of the game, they're just talking about their day and it's actually miserable.
Others out there were more focused on Riot's decision to suspend Doublelift from co-streaming that weekend. Even Mr. Beast chipped in to suggest that the whole thing is simply a fat L. Now, we could sit here and debate all day about whether or not the LCS is dying. Anecdotally, I feel like a lot of people I know will always tune in for the big games, but might not keep up to date with every other small game in the season. But I'm just one guy. That's a very small sample size. esportscharts.com show that this year's spring split had a record low in terms of average viewers and hours watched. But it's difficult to make judgments based off this. We've had a lot of variables such as the pandemic, the rise of co-streaming, and the fact that there's a lot more games now in a season. Now, it would take a whole video here to analyze just exactly what is going on with LCS viewership. Also, Riot aren't exactly the most open when it comes to their raw data, but I think even the most staunch LCS defender would have to agree that something isn't quite as it used to be. Last year, Travis Gafford surveyed 2,739 people who said their interest in watching the LCS had decreased. He found that the common claims of people not enjoying League or not having an NA team do well internationally were actually not the top answers. Instead, respondents said that a lack of interesting storylines and players had turned them off from watching the broadcast. Admittedly, that wasn't the biggest sample size, but it does perhaps give an indicator of what's going on. There are interesting storylines going on, the rise of 100 Thieves and EG mirroring the slumps of TSM and Cloud9. We've still got veterans like Bjergsen and Jensen duking it out, while additions like Jojopian and Danny have captured hearts, and I even think TSM's new top laner Soul might be added to that list. But for some people out there, this just isn't enough. I'd be interested to know what you guys think. Are the critics here just waxing nostalgic for a bygone era? Is the LCS just settling down to its core viewership after almost a decade, or are things worse than Riot is letting on? Is the LCS truly dying, and if so, why? Doublelift will likely be back to co-streaming the LCS this weekend, but already this week his comments were being memed on by strangers in his games.
Holy
You're
shit,
no
that's
mercy.
loyalty. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa!
He already did. Okay, these guys are funny.
What have I started, guys?
Oh god.
Everyone's just gonna start saying LCS is dying because I talked about my strike.
Doublelift is currently sitting on 2 strikes, so I doubt he'll be saying anything publicly about his belief that the LCS is dying in the near future. But that doesn't mean the conversation is over. Let me know your thoughts. I was going to talk about the fact that a lot of people seem to think that I am standing up in my videos.
Are you not?
No. Liz, you see me half the time with my black chair in this exact position. No, I'm sitting on my little like bar stool. It's a spinny bar stool. I'm spinning right now on a bar stool. See?
Oh my god.
See? You thought the same thing too. Well, I've dispelled that myth. That myth has been dispelled.